Hi, Samina. How are you? Happy Sunday. How are you doing? What time is it in Pakistan? How many hours ahead are you, Samina? Hi, Faro. Happy Sunday. How are you? Hi, Lynn. How are you? Another storm. Oh, no. Did you guys get a tornado or something? Or is it like a thunderstorm? I'm doing good, good, good. Sorry I didn't make it online yesterday. I struggle. I have kids. It was Valentine's Day. It got really busy. We took the kids to lunch and roller skating and shopping, and it was a long day. I wanted to try to come online last night, but I was too tired. By the time we got home last night, I was like, whew, I can't go online. I'm too tired. I wish I could go in the evening. If I can come on here in the evening, that'd be great. But I am a morning person. Oh, you got a bunch of snow, Lynn? How much snow do you guys get? You keep the snow where you're at. It is beautiful here. It was like 65 here yesterday. It's going to be 60 again today. I got shorts on again today. I'm ready for shorts and tank top weather. Are you by New York, Lynn? I feel like are you by New York? Are you up in the upper part? I'm tired today, guys, but I'm going to do my live since I didn't get on here yesterday. We're going to see what the energy is around you this week. Every week, 20 to 25 centimeters. What is that for inches? I don't know conversion. Every week. Hi, Patricia. Good morning. How are you? Cape Breton. Oh, Nova Scotia. Okay, Canada. I'm doing well, Joanne. How are you? Did you guys have a good Valentine's Day? Did you have a good Saturday? Did you treat yourself if you're single? Hi, Michelle. I apologize I didn't come on here yesterday. I didn't have time. Hi, Chris. How are you doing? You're great. Woot, and I'm doing good. I'm tired. I'm very tired. Sunday's lazy day. But since I didn't come on yesterday, I was like, you know what? Let me jump on this morning, and then I'm going to take the kids on a bike ride after this. So I figure I'd get my live done right now. Had some personal readings I had to get done. The weather's going to be nice here again. It's supposed to be like 60 or 65 or something today. It was nice yesterday. You spent the day working? Oh, Joanne. Wah, wah. At least you made money. You did treat yourself, Lynn? Good. That's good. That's what you're supposed to do. Love yourself. Love yourself the way you want someone to love you. I am tired, Chris. You know what? I have foundation on and I have a little bit of eyeliner and mascara. That's it. I'm tired. My hair, I just pulled it back after I got out of the shower. I threw a little bit of makeup on so I don't look too scary online with no makeup. But yeah, I am tired today. It's Sunday. It's supposed to be lazy day. But I'm not going to be lazy. I'm going to take the kids on a bike ride after this. So get some good sun endorphins out. Oh, it's raining there, Michelle? Oh, boo-hoo. I actually like the rain. I like the sound of it. I think it's very therapeutic. I like to watch thunderstorms. I'm one of those weird people, like when it's like lightning outside, I'm like standing at the door with the door open, looking at it, watching it. Oh, Oh, D major. We're going to just go ahead and put you in timeout, okay? Bye. Thanks for coming, D major. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're going to get started here in just a minute. Hi, Miley. How are you? Hi, Aurora. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, we're going to get started. All right, let's get started with Aries first. We're just going to do, I got some Oracle decks here. What's this one called? The Osha Zen. And then we're going to use this deck here. I forgot what this one's called. What is this called? The Citadel. And then we'll do some tarot. And then I have this angel deck. We're going to do bonus after each sign. Ask a question, get an answer. You just think of a question within yourself, if that is your zodiac sign, or if you just want to do it. And we'll see what the answer is. It's 2:15. Okay. All right, let's get started with Aries first. Aries. What is the energy around you this week, Aries? Welcome in. Hi, Barbara. Oh, I got a man. Sorry. Let me put you in the band. Delete comment. Okay, thank you. All right. Let's see what the energy is around you, Aries, this week. Timestamp is 5:55. So there might be some conflict that you need to make some changes. We got the guilt card coming out first. Control. Moment to moment. Bottom of the deck is harmony. So this week, somebody is maybe not bringing you a lot of peace and harmony, and you may feel like it's a roller coaster ride. 1 minute, things are good. The next minute, not so much. And there is somebody around you that's going to feel guilty about it. You may say something to them about them disrupting your peace. Yeah, you're going to definitely speak up and say something to somebody this week saying, hey, you know what? You should feel guilty for ghosting me and then coming back. And now that Valentine's Day is over and you didn't want to talk to me, and now all of a sudden it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's a regular day, you want to talk to me. There's something about somebody's feeling guilty about it. It is somebody that is trying to control the narrative between the two of you. The reason why they're doing that is they are somebody who is bound and chained to something else, something or someone else. They make a lot of promises, but they don't satisfy any of the promises. So why is this person making promises to Aries and not being able to let go of the control of these promises? And then they feel guilty about it. Well, who is this person? Could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It could be somebody you're married to or you're in a commitment with. Yeah, you're definitely married or in a commitment with this person. 4 Wands, Hierophant, and the Chariot. You expected this person potentially to return home. If you lived together, they did not. And now you're trying to figure out why they're controlling the narrative. They feel guilty about this. Queen of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, and 7 of Pentacles in reverse. So this is somebody this week, Aries, they're choosing their career or their job over making your relationship a priority. And you just want peace because this person is somebody that is not investing this week in the way that you want them to. And you feel like it's a roller coaster. 1 minute they're in, the next minute they're not. 1 minute you talk to them, the next minute they're not. 1 minute they feel guilty, the next minute they don't. So what's going to be the likely outcome here, Aries? Four of Swords, Queen of Wands, and the Hangman. You know, here's the thing is, do not let this person, don't sacrifice your confidence based on this person. Get to a place of peace and acceptance with what the situation is. If this person is traveling for work, you may have to say it is what it is. You don't have control over it because you're wanting to try to control getting into a place of peace. The only way you can do that, you can't do that expecting it from someone else. You can only do it within yourself. All right. What is your question, Aries, or those that want to just ask a question from the angel deck? Think of your question. This is your bonus. Ask a question, get an answer. Think of a question. Let's see the answer. The answer is in perfect timing. So whatever your question is, it's in perfect timing. All right. Let's move on to Taurus. 9:49. All right, Taurus. Hi, Cinderella. Hi, Amy. Hi, Laura. We're going to do ask question, get an answer at the end. All right, we are on Taurus. What's the energy around Taurus this week? Taurus placements. What is it you need to know? What do you need to hear? Taurus placements. How are you doing, Laura? All right, Taurus. We've got fighting, sorrow, suppression. Bottom of the deck is playfulness. So you may get in a fight with somebody this week and you're going to feel sorry about it because there were things that you wanted to suppress, you didn't want to speak up and say, but you accidentally say, and it causes a fight. And then you feel sorry that you actually said what you were thinking. Yeah, the catalyst. There's something about you made the choice, or you make the choice this week to speak what the truth is, but you feel sorry that you said it because you've been suppressing it for a long time. Whatever this is this person is not expecting this to come from you. It's kind of like your friend gets a haircut and they're like, oh, do you like my haircut? And you're like, yeah, I do, but you don't really like it. It slips out. There's something that you've been suppressing for a long time that this person is feeling like you're just playing with them by saying it. You were joking, right? But you weren't actually joking. Yeah, that you're going to have to own up to it. Unfortunately, this person is not going to feel very happy about it, but you may try to play it off and say, oh, I was just playing, but you weren't playing. Your person's going to know that. All right. What is this? Queen of Wands, Ten of Swords. Yeah. And the Eight of Cups. You know what? If this is a friend, you may end up getting in a fight. They're going to walk away from you. They're going to feel like this is not fair. This is not nice. Why did you do this? Why did you say that? All right. Well, what's going to be the likely outcome? Queen of Pentacles, the Death card, and the Chariot. You have to accept the ownership of what you had been suppressing. So, for example, maybe it is like a friend that is dating somebody and you've never really said anything, that you don't really like their person, or that you've seen their person with somebody else, but then you let it slip and it causes a big, huge fight. And they're like, my person would never do that. And you're like, but they did, maybe they hit on you or something. And it looks like you have to own up to what you had been suppressing. You have to be confident. And even though there may be an ending here and you have to move away from it, there is something about you being in integrity and not suppressing that that it was the truth with whatever you said. So you're speaking the truth about something. You're going to try to play it off and say, oh, I was just joking. Whoever you're dealing with, they know you're not joking. And you're just going to have to pony up and say, you know what? It is the truth. You could be dealing with a Scorpio, an earth sign, a water sign, a fire sign. All right. Let's do your angel. Ask a question, get an answer for Taurus or anybody who wants to play along. Think of a question from your angels. All right. What's the answer for Taurus? The situation will improve. Okay. All right. Let's move on to Gemini. 13:30 Gemini is your timestamp. Hi, Charlotte. You're welcome. All right, Gemini. What's the energy around you this week? Hi, Poppy from Greece. Hi, Charlotte. Hi, Ellie. Hi, Louise. All right, Gemini. What's the energy around you this week? Gemini. Completion. Harmony. Experiencing. Bottom of the deck is laziness. Something's coming to an end for you this week. Something that this ending is actually bringing a sense of relief to you. You've experienced something or someone that hasn't really been pulling their weight. They haven't really stepped up in the way that you've needed them to, maybe emotionally, physically, maybe even financially. What is this completion here? You're discovering that this is something that has needed to come to an end for quite some time. It looks like you had been thinking about it. You've been analyzing it. You've been trying to wrap your mind around to holding on to the situation with this person. And this week, you're finally realizing something that you experience with this person, it's the last straw. It's like, I'm done. It's over. It's kind of like you have a roommate and you're the only one who ever cleans the place and they don't ever pull their weight, or you pay all the bills and they don't. You're saying, you know what? I've had this experience long enough. It's not fair. It's not balanced. And because of that, I'm destroying it. I'm putting an end to it, and I'm no longer going to entertain this. So you're no longer perplexed over what you should be doing, something you've been analyzing or thinking about for quite some time. You're discovering that you're just taking the action this week, and you're saying, you know what? I've experienced this so many times. I'm done. Look at that, the 10 of Swords. You're saying, you know what? This is enough. I don't need this anymore. Look at that. The strength in the world, like boom, boom, like double confirmation. You're strong enough to say the cycle is ready to be ended. The chapter is ready to be closed. There's no more left to talk about. There's no more left to think about. There's no more stress or anxiety attached to the situation. Is this love? Is this money? This could even be a job. You could just tell your boss, like, you know what? I'm done. I don't need this anymore. I'm doing all the work. And I am no longer wanting to participate anymore. We've got the Fool. There's something else you have your eye on that you want to start. Maybe if it's a roommate situation, you already found a new place and you're like, you know what? It's my new chapter. I got approved for the lease. I'm moving. Or if it's a job, I found a new job. If it's a lot of you, I don't think it's a relationship. It could be, but it doesn't feel like it's a relationship. Either way, whoever you separate from or situation you separate from, it's been a repeated disappointment to you that you're accepting. You no longer want to be disappointed in that placement, that it's just not serving you anymore. All right, you could be dealing with an air sign, a Leo, an Aquarius. All right, let's do your angel, ask a question and an answer bonus. All right, think of a question. Gemini placement. What is the answer to the question? The answer is if you believe. Okay. Cancer. 1703. Hi, Red. Hi, Sophia. Hi, Patty. Hi, Amara. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. All right. What's the energy around Cancer placements this week? What do they need to know? What do they need to hear that's going to serve their highest good? When I saw myself in my house, Virgo. Oh, you sold your house? Or when will you sell your house, Virgo? Oh, we're going to do ask a question, get an answer at the end, Wind. So you got to stick around to the end. Hi, Jennifer. All right. What's the energy around Cancer this week? What do you need to know? Comparison. Laziness. Politics. Bottom of the deck is abundance. Okay. Well, it looks like this week you're stepping into a situation where you may be comparing yourself to other people. You may be wondering, why is he or she more successful than me? Why is he or she doing that and I'm doing that, but I'm not getting the same results? There's a comparison that you're doing with somebody this week, and you're coming to the conclusion that you're potentially stepping up more than you're going to be stepping up more than what you had been. So it looks like with this comparison, you realize that your loyalty has been in the wrong placement. You've been more loyal to doing something else that's really just not effective. And it could be because of procrastination. It could be because of setbacks. It could be because of circumstances. Either way, you're realizing you're getting politically correct with yourself and saying, okay, I no longer can lie to myself. If I want to build something for my future, I have to start with my own foundation. And whatever foundation you had been building upon had been, maybe there were cracks in it, or maybe it wasn't built correctly or didn't have the right establishment. And you're realizing that. It has something to do with your abundance. What is this abundance? The Pilgrim. Okay, so that's your opportunity and your growth. You're being illuminated this week to something that you've been investing in that is just not bringing you the return on investment. This could be a job. This could be money. This could be a business, or it could be a person. Let's see what this is with the tarot. What is this for Cancer placements this week? Temperance, the Hierophant, and the World. All major arcana. So this is a significant shift for you this week. This is you realizing that something you have been patiently invested in, that you've been very committed to, you truly believe that the political aspect, it's not bearing fruit. For some of you, you're actually going to potentially shift your perspective of your belief system. What you once thought was true, maybe about religion or politics or about your value system, you're completely turning left and saying, you know what? I don't believe that anymore. And it isn't necessarily, I don't think laziness is the right word that's on this card. I think it's more of a, well, this is what I was conditioned to believe, so I kind of just got in the flow of that. But it's impacting your life to be more abundant. It could be financially, spiritually, physically, and you're realizing that it's being illuminated to you this week. So once you have this illumination, you realize there's an opportunity for you to actually grow differently in your life. There it is. There's that spark. That's the, let's light this torch and let's get really fired up to do things completely different. And you're realizing that by changing this belief system or whatever this comparison was, it's making you feel more confident. And because of that, you're growing and evolving as an individual in your situation, and you're becoming more abundant. Because this is the way you've been. You've been caught up in your head. Why does it work for them, but it doesn't work for me? And you're going to compare it to other people. You may even talk to other people about it, and you're realizing the shift and change is within yourself. It's not with outside circumstance. It's something that you're thinking within your own thoughts. So we've got Sagittarius, we've got Taurus, and we've got Aquarius. You can have those in your chart. You may want to also check those out, those other placements. It may kind of connect the dots together for you for this week. All right, let's do Angel. Ask a question, get an answer for Cancer placements. Hi, Angela. Hi, Janetta. Hi, Jody. When we get done, we're going to do ask a question, get an answer. We're just doing bonus angel cards for each sign. All right, Cancer, think of your question, or others if you want to play along. Cancer placements. The answer is, it's up to you. That's right. It's up to you. All right, Leo, 22. Leo. All right, 2200. All right, Leo. Those with Leo placements, what do you need to know? What do you need to hear that's going to serve your highest good for the energy around you this week? Leo placements. All right, Leo. Leo. What do you need to know? All right, we've got celebration. Coming out first, you're going to be celebrating something this week, Leo. Energy around Leo this week. Harmony. Experience. Bottom of the deck is existence. You're living in the present moment this week, Leo. And because of that, you're going to step into an experience of happiness, joy. There's a sense of liberation and celebration here. So let's clarify what this is for Leo placements. This could be happening between days 1 through 3. All right, Leo, what is this celebration here? There's something that you're exploring within yourself. There's a self-discovery about your friendships, about your community, about what you truly believe. And you're going to create because of that. There's a creation. I'm seeing like art. So you may be somebody who likes to paint, who likes to draw, who likes to write stories. Either way, you're realizing living in the present moment is something that's going to be really important for you to get to a place of peace and harmony. So because of this experience, it looks like, self-expression is very significant here this week for you. You're celebrating a milestone because you're learning to no longer live in the past and you're no longer waiting for the future. This week, you're really stepping into your power saying, you know what, I'm going to express myself in the current moment. And you're loving and living in every aspect of that joy this week. It's something that's coming down very strong for you because you have a lot more potential by living in the present moment than living in the past or waiting for the future. So let's see what this is for Leo placements. So Leo placements. You're creating something you're going to be really happy about this experience. What is this for Leos? 5 of Swords. The Temperance. The 5 of Cups. So double fives. Fives are all about conflict and change. So you're realizing this week that the experiences that you had in the past were experiences you needed to go through. And because of that, you're healing that within yourself, and you're learning patience, that you don't have to jump to the future really fast, that you can live in the present moment. So this is a really strong testament. And that could be why you're in the celebration energy, is you're creating peace within yourself. You're saying, you know what? I'm strong. I'm capable of living in the current moment and focusing on the current moment, and not allowing hurt or disappointment with others in the past to take over the present moment. And you're learning to express yourself because of it, which is a really nice thing. And look at this. You're also discovering this week, Leo, what healthy boundaries look like. People that in the past that caused this miscommunication, that caused this disappointment, that caused you to have to go heal yourself, you're realizing here this week what healthy boundaries actually look like for you. It's going to be different for everybody, but for you, Leo, you're learning when people overstep those boundaries, that they cause you hurt, they cause you confusion, they cause you disappointment. And you're strongly celebrating that you are learning how to stand up, because, you know, Leos, it's all about the heart space. So you love to love. And sometimes people take advantage of that. But you're learning here with the Emperor and that Queen of Swords, how to strongly stand in your powers. And you're going to feel at peace with those experiences in the present moment this week. Give me one more. Yeah, there it is. There's that Judgment. That's saying, you know what? I see the truth of what experiences I've been through in the past, and I don't want to live that anymore. I want to step into my power and be strong, but I also want to be happy about being strong. So you're learning what those boundaries are this week. That's really good for you, Leo. So you could be dealing with a Libra, an Aries, an air sign, a Sagittarius, a water sign, or an air sign. All right, let's do an angel. Ask a question, get an answer for Leos or anyone who wants to participate. Your daughter's a Leo, Angela? Yeah, she has a question about at church and brought in the gifts. Just waiting to see. Oh, so cute. All right, Leo, what is your question? Let's see what the answer is. Don't stop. I just heard that song. Don't stop believing. I don't know who sings it. Hi, Lucy. Good morning. All right, let's move on to Virgo. 2717, Virgo. All right, Virgo. Let's take a look. What is it you need to know? Hi, Misty. What is it you need to hear, Virgo placements? You guys could please like the video as you come in and comment. I would appreciate it. We're going to do ask a question, get an answer bonus for free at the end. Oh, no, Jonetta, I'm so sorry. That's horrible. You have to call the police? That's horrible. I hope you're okay. Hopefully everything worked out okay. All right, Virgo, what's the energy around you? Okay, so we've got intensity. What's the energy around Virgo? Abundance. Postponement. Bottom of the deck is the master. You are the master of your domain is what I'm hearing. So you may be postponing something that you are the master of your own domain, something that you should be stepping into, but you're feeling intensity around it and you're postponing doing something about it. Okay, there's a lag is what it feels like. And abundance, it could be your job, it could be your spirituality, it could be your growth aspect. Let's take a look here. Why is intensity here for Virgo? Why is the intensity here? Okay, it has something to do with the relationship, about you being vulnerable. Why is abundance here? Abundance. You might need to express something, but you're postponing, overcoming, and making a choice. So you may have a choice this week that you feel you need to master something. You need to make a decision. Things are very intense with you this week, and you could be postponing making that decision. Why is postponement here for Virgo? Experimentation and rebellion. So yeah, you're definitely rebelling against doing something when it comes to your life. We also have responsibilities, adventure, and expectation at the bottom of the deck. So something that is expected upon you potentially this week, Virgo, you may feel the intensity of that. It's around a relationship. Maybe somebody's waiting for you to open up and be vulnerable. Maybe somebody's waiting for you to make a choice or decision, but you're not. You're kind of postponing it. And you could be doing it because of that master of your own domain. You could be holding back intentionally because somebody is expecting something from you. So let's see what this is for Virgo placements. Hi, Ruby. Angela, my ex, Googling. Okay. All right, let's take a look here. What is this for Virgos this week? Could be a relationship with your job. It could be a relationship with your spirituality. It could be a person. Okay, we got the Emperor. Could be dealing with an Aries. Could be your boss. You could be feeling like you're postponing. Oh yeah, you're not committing to something. Hierophant in reverse. You're not wanting to be vulnerable. The 10 of Wands. You feel defeat. You feel pressure. There's a responsibility that you are the master of your own domain, that something is expected of you this week when it comes to potentially your job, that you feel this intense responsibility or obligation, that you need to make a choice, but you're rebelling about making a choice and you're kind of lagging and postponing it. Why are you not wanting to make this decision? Why is postponement here? Okay, so I was going to say this before this card came out. I was going to say you're wanting to maybe see if there's something else you want to do, if this is really what you want. We've got the 8 of Cups clarifying before I even finish that. So you may be postponing making a decision about this job, this career, this situation that's intense for you because you may want to walk away from it. You may be, even though you're expected potentially to return to it, you may be questioning, is that the right choice? Or should I be walking away from it? Let's get a couple more. Yeah, 3 of Pentacles. You just don't know if you want it anymore. You don't know if it's going to work. You don't know because you are the master of your own domain. Look at this. This is like, I don't want to say God, but this is like a very strong, powerful energy. And this is what's being hidden. And followed behind that is the flowering. So there's something that below the surface, the master of your own domain. So let's say for you, you work for a company, for example. You may be feeling the sense of, you know what? Maybe it's time for me to walk away. Maybe it's time for me to make something else work because I am the master of my own domain. Maybe I'm supposed to plant a garden elsewhere potentially. Let's get one more. So there's this intensity that you need to make a choice and decision. There's your choice and decision, the 2 of Cups. It's kind of like, it feels like the lesser of 2 evils. I don't know why I'm saying that, but it's kind of like there's the fire and then there's the air. So it's like you're really, really passionate about something, but the other option could be maybe working for somebody brings a sense of peace. You know, like when you work for somebody, you have the security and the stability of generally having that paycheck, generally. You know, nothing's guaranteed, but that's usually the perspective. Versus if you work for yourself, there's a sense of uncertainty because you don't necessarily always predict what your income will be. And that could be why you're like the lesser of 2 evils. Go with something that really is just a paycheck, but you're not passionate about because maybe the consistency, or go and follow your passion and your drive. And it's something strong this week that you're feeling the intensity of, I need to make a choice and decision. Do I want to walk away from this or do I want to return back to it? So you're expected to return. Maybe you're coming out of vacation, you're coming off some time off, and it's really intense this week, but you're postponing making this decision. You're kind of rebelling against it because your higher self might be submitting you to a higher calling here because you're being guided in a different direction. All right. I feel like I should give you advice. Let me give you some advice. What's the advice for Virgo in this situation? What's the best piece of advice? You need to make a choice. It's going to feel intense. What's the best piece of advice? Be vulnerable with yourself. The world. What do you want your world to look like? Do you want to be on the inside working for somebody looking on the outside, or do you want to be the outside looking in at your own world? Which way do you want to go? That's the answer you have to. That's the green monster question you have to ask yourself. All right, let's do Angel Ask a Question, Get an Answer. If you want to do an in-depth reading, Virgo, check out my website, timelessdivinetarot.com. All right, bonus Angel Ask a Question, Get an Answer. Hi, Ruby. That's good. I'm glad you confirmed that, Angela. All right, let's see here. Virgo, or anybody wants to play along, ask a question, get an answer to the Angel deck. All right, ready? Okay. Now, if you're Virgo and you ask, should I stay or should I go? If you said, should I return to that job? Your answer is no. You're the master of your own domain. Okay. All right, Libra, 3514. All right, Libra. Hi, Beach. How are you? Good morning. Oh, it's 3:40 in the morning. You know what? I woke up at 3-something in the morning. I don't sleep good during the night, ever. I go to bed super early, but I get up really, really early. Hi, Kelly. Good morning. Thank you for liking the video, joining the live. Thank you for putting comments. You're welcome, Windwalker. All right, Libra. What's the energy around you this week? What is it you need to know? What do you need to hear? Libra. What's the energy around Libra this week? Hi, Charmaine. How are you? Happy Sunday. You have insomnia? I think that's what, I think that's what I have. I don't know. It's like once I wake up, then I can't ever go back to sleep. All right, Libra, what's the energy around you? Oh, we got flowering, politics, the burden. Bottom of the deck is clinging to the past. Just heard that song, forever and ever, stay in my heart, you will never, ever, I don't know, be apart? I don't know the rest of it. All right, what's going on here, Libra? Flowering, politics, burden, and clinging to the past. Something, you're clinging to something to the past because this is at the bottom of the deck. So this is you. You're holding on to something from the past that it's really weighing you down, and you're being asked to grow and evolve away from it. Look at it more political. Don't look at it so, I heard illogical, but I don't know if that's correct. So let's clarify. All right. Yeah. There's a downfall that you feel happened in the past that you're continuing to hold on to. And you're needing to recognize that if you look at the details of the situation, it's putting you in more prideful energy. You don't need to look at the bigger picture and say, okay, you know what? It was a burden in the past, but it doesn't have to be a burden in the present energy. So you're realizing if you stop looking at all the little details of the experience, and you just look at the bigger picture as, okay, what did I learn from this? What do I want to take from it? What do I want to leave? And move past it. You look at it a little bit differently, but you're still holding on to every little aspect of it. And you're clinging on to it this week. And what it's doing is it's actually blocking your ability to manifest, to create, to produce something in your life, and it's burdening you. So sometimes what happens, like, let's say you're in a relationship with somebody and it's just not working and you're trying to force it. Then you realize things affect your job or your friendships or other aspects because there's an imbalance. And that's what it feels like for you this week is you're clinging on to something from the past that needs to just be separated or let go of because it's hindering your ability to create or produce whatever you want to manifest in your life because you're still stuck in that energy of the past. So you're being asked to have confidence to say, you know what? It's no longer working. And what it is it's the pride that holds on to it. The pride can get you every time. You're being asked to say, you know what? The justice and the truth is it didn't work. And what I learned from it is who I am as an individual from that experience. And I don't have to hold the burden. The burden's no longer for me to hold. Your intuition's going to be screaming this at you. It's like the air and the wind, like let it go. Be able to say, you know what once was, that's fine, but it is no longer. And I want to create something different. This is you still holding on to this past situation. So maybe you were in a relationship. You want to know why this person robbed your money or why did that job not give you the promotion? Why did that person ghost you? There's something you're clinging on to. And this week you're being asked to say, you know what? It's actually hindering your growth aspect and let's just let it go. Because you want to have a new beginning. In order to have a new beginning, we got to clear and we got to kind of shake things up a little bit. And part of that shaking up is saying, you know what, it's no longer serving me. So if it was a relationship and somebody ghosted you and it was somebody you were in a relationship with and you still have some of their physical belongings, chuck them. Text them and say, come get it. It's on the curb, or the trash will be here on Monday. Or if it is text messages and it's from somebody from 6 months ago and you've been waiting to see if they're going to respond, delete it. There's a need to clear it out because you feel burdened. You feel energetically harnessed to the situation in this past, and it is blocking you from being able to manifest and move forward. And it's the pride that's holding on to it. There it is. There's that pride. The devil will get you every time. That pride will rob you of your true happiness and your manifestation each time. And this is about, there could be a belief system that you truly believe you need to hold on to this burden, that this past experience, this past hurt, this past pain, this past person. And the devil is saying, you know what? Let's unshackle us from that experience. And let's finally say, you know, I want something new. I want to have a new experience. So I need to let this go. All right, let's get an angel card. All right, Libra. He needs to let me go. You know, Angela, yeah, you have to not tap into the energy. Like no contact, don't look at their pictures or their social media, because that just feeds the energy still. There's like an energetic cord you have to detach. All right, Libra, think of a question, or anybody that wants to ask the angel deck a question. What's the answer? Peaceful resolution. Once you unshackle yourself from that past. All right, Scorpio, 4126. Ruby, you survive on very little sleep, really? I get cranky. I don't like it. That's why I like to go to bed early, because I know my body. I woke up at 4 and 4:30 every day for years. Like for years when I worked in corporate America when I was younger. And my body's just used to waking up early. So if I could go to bed at 6 o'clock at night, I would. I don't, because I have kids and I have a family. I can't do that. But if I could, I would. So usually 8:30, I'm ready for bed, but I don't actually go to sleep that time. All right. Usually I try to go to bed the kids go to bed by 9. The little one goes 7:30, and then the older two by 9. But we're usually still up. All right, let's see. Scorpio. What's the energy around Scorpio this week? Scorpio. Ripeness. Compromise. Postponement. Okay. Bottom of the deck is aloneness. Okay, so this week may be a little bit of a challenge for you, Scorpio. You may find that you are in a situation that feels a little bit bittersweet for you, that you want to compromise, but you could feel like somebody is postponing giving you a compromise in the situation, which is making you feel alone. It's making you feel at a loss. You could feel a sense of abandonment because this person is not meeting you in the middle. With the ripeness, it's all about perseverance. This week, you're being tested to have faith and persevere, even though you may not get the resolution or the compromise that you're hoping or expecting. There's something about you want someone to regret something that they've done to you, and they're not. You want them to maybe apologize, take the accountability. They're not meeting you in the middle, and you feel there's a delay, and you don't understand why they're delaying giving you this apology. Yeah, this person is somebody who kind of lacks direction. They are maybe an impulsive person. They maybe don't plan. And that could be why maybe you made plans with somebody and you thought they were going to show up and then they don't show up. And then you want them to apologize and they don't. And you're like, well, this is bittersweet. I showed up. You weren't there. Why weren't you there? And you're like, why is this person making me feel alone when we had plans? So it's almost like someone's not wanting to take that accountability around you. Yeah, this aloneness is coming because this person is not sharing that, hey, I can no longer make it, or hey, plans have changed. And it's making you feel like, why do I always have to rearrange my schedule? So it's So for example, let's say that you're an entrepreneur and your friend works for a company and you decide to have lunch, but then your friend, because they work for a company, they say, hey, let's meet for lunch at noon on Wednesday. And you're like, okay, well, let's meet at X restaurant. And then you go to the restaurant at noon, but then they text you at 12:05 and say, oh, you know what? That meeting I had at 2:00 got changed to 12:15. So I'm going to have to cancel and reschedule. But they knew earlier that the meeting got rescheduled. But because you're an entrepreneur, they just assumed it's okay. It's no big deal for you because you work for yourself. And because they work in corporate America, it's okay for them to just cancel. It's almost like that. Like you feel like, you know what? I feel alone because you're not really seeing that I have a business to run. I have things I need to do. I have a schedule to attend to. And you're always having to compromise potentially for this person. This could even be a partner or a romantic. Let's see here. Yeah, 5 of Cups. You feel hurt. You feel like, you know what? You're not considering how I feel. You don't understand my emotions. This is somebody that you wished you could see, you could meet up with, you could spend time with. This is somebody that does make you happy at times. This could even be a newer person. If you met a new person, you've been talking to them quite a bit, and you have both kind of anticipated this initial meeting, and then it's bittersweet because this person wants you to now change up at the last minute, but you can't change up. There's a sense of, well, why do you keep delaying or postponing this? Yeah, look at that. You're left hanging while this person is not giving you some type of information as to why. I'm going to be honest with you. Whoever this person is, if this is a romantic situation, you're supposed to meet this person for the first time. The reason why they postpone or delay the date is because they're scared. They're intimidated. You're just not going to like them. Maybe they sent you the wrong pictures, or they said something about themselves that's just not true. Maybe they said, oh, I'm 6'8" and they're really 5'1". Or I make a lot of money. I drive a nice car, and you find out they ain't got a job and they have no car. Whatever this is, this person is going to postpone. They long to be with you, but they're lacking direction, complete lack of direction. All right, what's the advice for you? This feels like two different stories here. 6 of Pentacles. I just heard it's in giving that you receive. Okay, what else is the advice? The Tower. 5 of Pentacles. You're going to feel at a loss. Your best piece of advice is there's that missed opportunity at the bottom of the deck being hidden. If this is a situation where you have made arrangements with this person more than once, let's say twice, 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. Your best piece of advice is if this person only gives to you when it's good for them, you're being asked to create the tower all by yourself, saying, you know what? I'm done being at a loss. I'm done saying we're going to meet for lunch. We're going to go have drinks. We're going to go meet up or do whatever. I'm done allowing you to make me anticipate or wait for you when you don't show up. And you're being asked to give to yourself at that tower moment, to bring the tower down all on your own. So you could be dealing with a water sign, earth sign, Aquarius, air sign, or a Pisces. All right, let's get some angel questions. Ruby, I'm old, I guess. I don't need much sleep. How much sleep do you get? If I could have 8 to 10 hours, that'd be amazing. But I think I usually get about 6 to 7, probably. All right, let's do Scorpio. Ask a question, get an answer from the angel deck. Hi, is it Juju? I go to bed around 12 or 1 and I wake anywhere from 3 to 5. Okay. Oh, that's not much sleep either. Every day, Ruby? I think your body will catch up with you eventually. All right, your answer is forgiveness. Oh, look at that. It's asking you to forgive this person. You know what? If this is a new person and they back out and they keep rearranging on your first initial meeting, for those of you that are dating, you're being asked to forgive this person and also forgive yourself, because otherwise you hold on to that energy. All right. Sagittarius, 4 hours a night. Wow. Do you drink a lot of coffee? I drink a lot of coffee. I'm an all-day coffee drinker. Coffee, and I drink my water too here. I don't have coffee down here. I've only had 1 coffee so far today. 49.28. All right. Did I change that? Are we on Scorpio or Sagittarius? What did I just say? We're on Sagittarius. All right. Let me switch it here. All right. Sagittarius. Hi, Donna. Hi, Mildred. Oh, don't be depressed. Go outside. Get in the sun. Let the sun give you some good endorphins. Occasionally you get 8 hours, like once a month. Wow. So you're just built and you've operated on less sleep. Okay. I get very irritable if I don't get enough sleep. I try to get sleep, but sometimes it doesn't happen. I'm not a napper either. I can't nap. I wish I could be a napper. I just can't. A nap to me would be like, I need to go to bed and sleep for like several hours, like 6, 7 hours, 8 hours. I cannot. Those people that can like nap for 30 minutes and feel rejuvenated, I can't do that. I wish I could. Sagittarius, not a lot of coffee, maybe 2 cups a day. Oh, okay. Not me. I'm rise and shine, water, coffee. Thank you, Mildred. I laugh a lot. Your live keeps breaking up for me. Oh, Michelle, maybe go out of it and come back in. You don't nap either? Yeah. No naps for me. My dad used to say when he was alive, he's like, I'll just sleep when I die. So I guess I'll just nap when I pass over to the next lifetime. Don't be depressed. Go outside. Enjoy the sun. Go for a walk. When depression sets in, you got to move the energy around. You're in an energy placement that you got to move around a little bit. Physically move into a different area. Do something different. Go somewhere different. Experience something different. Drink a lot of water to try to cleanse the energy around you. Yep, water for you. All right, Sagittarius, what's the energy around you? Yes, Ben, hit great on me. All right, Sagittarius, what's the energy this week? What do you need to know? Slowing down. Okay. You need to be moving like a turtle. Inner voice. Okay. Your intuition is going to be really strong this week, Sagittarius. Transformation. Bottom of the deck is sorrow. You could be rushed this week and you're being asked to just slow down. You're going to be sorry if you don't. That's what's being hidden below the deck is you got to change up whatever you're doing. If you're running 100 miles a minute and you're not slowing down and enjoying the current moment and making this change, you're going to feel sorry if you don't. There's something about the order, the way you're doing things, you need to change. So if you're somebody from the time your feet hit the floor in the morning to the time your feet go up on the bed at night, you're just a go, go, go. You're just nonstop. You're being asked to take a step back and relook at the order of the way you do things. Your intuition is saying that you're needing to move a little bit differently, getting into a place of peace, changing up your schedule, making different choices, making different decisions that are going to make you feel like a better version of yourself. If you don't, you're going to feel sorry. Look at this. The bottom of the deck is the assassin, ruthless, or conviction. This is meaning you're kind of, you're destroying yourself by not slowing down and realizing that this change is necessary. So it could be that you have a lot on your plate and you've taken on more extra burden and responsibility, and you're needing to realize that maybe traditionally, maybe it's like a family thing where you run the family business and you have to do everything. Maybe you need to take a step back and delegate. Maybe you need to restructure. You need to realize with whatever choice and decision you have, this is what you're looking at this week. If you don't change, you're going to feel sorry because there's a sense of, I feel like I've completely fallen down into the hole and I can't get back up. There's a sense of defeat here if you don't make this change. 3 of Wands is about you can't keep doing what you're doing forever. It maybe worked for you in the past. Maybe it worked for a very long time. But now we need to look at it a little bit differently. We need to realize that as we are getting older and we're doing different things, we need to move a little bit differently. What is the saying? Work smarter, not harder. And that could be something that you're giving, and you're not leaving anything for yourself. Maybe you're always helping everybody else, and you're never loving on yourself. You're never giving yourself self-care or putting those boundaries in place to understand that your inner voice is saying, hey, there's a lot of negative thoughts in your head because of it, because of the experience. This could be creating migraines this week. You could be having a lot of headaches. It's affecting your vision because you're constantly feeling under the pressure to do everything for everyone, and it's not working. This is your peace. This is your break of saying, you know what? I need to feel rejuvenated. So I need to get back to myself. I need to realize that I can't just keep running around ragged and not doing anything for myself. It's about you regaining the control to slow down and really kind of have like a self-evaluation of what's working for me and what's just not working anymore. And there's some things on the chopping block that you need to make some choices and decisions of what it is that is working. You want to keep, you want to change up a little bit, and what's not, you need to cut the dead weight and let it go. Yeah, the Six of Wands, you really are going to see this really heavily this week. If you don't start making changes, it's going to impact you. It could even be impacting you. It's already impacting you mentally, but it might start impacting you physically. You could be dealing with a water sign, a Cancer sign, a fire sign, an earth sign. All right, let's do the angel ask a question, give an answer for Sagittarius. Yeah, that's right, Ruby. Your soul will go on. Hi, Anita. Good morning. We were just talking about going to bed, naps, how many hours we sleep. All right, Sagittarius, think of your question, or those that want to participate with the angel deck. Ask a question. Think of it. Hi, Marsha. The answer is, there it is. Ask for help from others. This is what you need to do. You need to ask other people to help you. All right. Capricorn. Capricorn, 5641. All right, Capricorn. What is it you need to know? Welcome for your first time in my live. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. We are doing all signs, just so you know how it works. We're doing all signs. We're on Capricorn. We're going all the way to Pisces. And then when we're done, we will do ask a question, get an answer for free. You can ask one question in the comments and one question per comment. So if you have multiple questions, you got to put multiple comments, okay? And let's see, Capricorn, what's the energy around you this week? What do you need to know? What do you need to hear that's going to serve your highest good? Capricorn placements. Capricorn. Control. Abundance. Politics. Bottom of the deck is courage. So you're being asked to not get caught up in the political game at work this week. You're going to have to really maintain your control, be very courageous to realize that if you get involved in the political water cooler conversations or politics at work this week, it could be impacting you. So you're being asked to maintain control, not doing that. Yeah, if you do not maintain control, you might regret it. It could be impacting your abundance, could be impacting you not recognizing that some people around you are not as flexible as you when it comes to thoughts, when it comes to views or perspectives. You have to use, you're going to be asked directly, what do you think, Capricorn? What do you think about this? Blah, 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 blah. What do you think about corporate doing this now? What do you think about them cutting their hours? What do you think about the benefits? What do you think about, I got this raise. What's your raise? There's something in the water cooler box, the break room. You have to persevere not to get involved in the politics. It's going to take everything with your courage and strength to not put your opinion out there, but you're being asked to, if you want to keep your job, you're being asked to not participate, to not involve yourself in these conversations. If you do, you might have regrets. All right, let's clarify what this is for Capricorn placements. Ruby, you're always last. That's okay. Better late than never, right? The way I see it, better late than never. All right, what is this for Capricorn? What do they need to know about this? I was going to say, it's funny because as I said that, I was thinking, oh, you have two choices here and here, Capricorn. And then look what came out. You got the 2, which is the 2 of Wands. You have a choice. You're going to have to make a choice. In the moment, when you go through this, what will you do? What will you decide is going to be best for you? Well, knowing you're seeing this message predicted before this happens, you're going to be able to build up your confidence to not participate, to not involve yourself. You're already confident. You already know what you believe within yourself. And you're not going to allow Johnny or Janie, who likes to, what is it? Karen or Kevin, I think is what it's called. Karen or Kevin, you're not going to let them rush in, involve you in the gossip at work or the soapbox, and then run back out and go tell your boss that you said something. You're not going to do that this week. All right. There it is. You want to keep your job. This is a very strong message of make it work in your favor. For others of you, if it's not a job-related situation, it's a friend dynamic. You have one friend that likes to play telephone and tell everybody's gossip, and they're going to call you and tell you about so-and-so's gossip. They want you to opinionate on it, and once you do, they're going to run back to so-and-so and tell them what you said. So make it work in your favor so you don't have any regrets. Do not be somebody who wants to take on that burden. It's just not worth it. You're going to have the courage to say no. Look at that. You're going to sit in your throne with your pentacles and say, I'm good over here. Thanks, but no thanks. And when people want to call to gossip with you, you can just be like, okay, that's interesting. And just leave it at that. You don't even have to have an opinion. All right, Capricorn, let's get you an angel. Ask a question, get an answer. Anybody that wants to participate. Capricorn, angel, ask the angels. What is your question? Think of a question. One more second. Capricorn. The answer is success. All right. All right, let's move on to Aquarius. 10151. Aquarius. All right. Blow my nose really quick. Is it Karen and Bruce? I don't know. Oh, is it? Okay, yeah. You know what? I didn't even know what the female version of Karen was. My kids actually told me it was Kevin. That's the only reason why I know. Hi, Jen. How are you doing? All right. Aquarius, what do you need to know? What do you need to hear? All right, Aquarius. Ooh, that came out fast. What is that? Oh, something's coming in fast and it's over. There's a completion happening for you. I wasn't even done shuffling. Maybe one more. I just heard that. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Existence. Something you've had challenges with is coming to an end. You're getting into the moment of realizing it has to come to an end. Your inner voice is there. And look at that. We've also got intensity. So whatever your inner voice is telling you this week, it's going to be really intense, that it's finally time for you to close something out, that it's existed for far too long, beyond it's expired its shelf life with you, and you're understanding that it has to go. So your intuition is going to be really strong, Aquarius, this week. You're going to feel like what once was a great puzzle piece in your life is no longer fitting. It's no longer available to you. So let's see what this is. What is this? Celebration. We've got family, the shepherd. So, you know, they say there's always a black sheep in every family, meaning one person, usually one sibling, always feels like they're an outsider to the rest of the dynamic or the family. And this week, you may find that in your current life that you feel like you don't fit in. Maybe you don't fit in with your coworkers. You don't fit in with your friend group anymore. You don't fit in with your family. And the twins is realizing that maybe you've had to be a version of yourself to be with those other people, but it's not your true self. It's just a falsification of who you try to portray to be because of them. And maybe you were that version in the past. So like example, when you're single and you have all your single friends, you're single. Well, everybody's single, no big deal. But then you go and get married and they're still single, you're kind of at two different worlds in life. Like you're married and you're in a relationship, so you're not interested in going to the bars or the clubs or out, and about to meet people, where your single friends are doing single friend activities different than maybe married people activities. They're not coupling up. So that could be what has happened, is you're realizing that maybe you've outgrown an environment that you once were fitted into, that once did work, that once was a part of your puzzle. And it's feeling intense this week that your higher self is saying, you know what? I finally understand that that's not really where I want to be. And look at that. We've got the deception, the trickery. So this could be you up until this week, maybe telling yourself, well, I still fit in with those single friends, even though now I'm married and I have kids and they're not married. They don't have kids. And I have a career and a business and they're still figuring out what they want to do with their life. You maybe have been lying to yourself, telling yourself that it's okay to hold on to things that have ran its season in your life. And it's becoming very intense for you this week to recognize, you understand that it's okay to let it go. Look at that. Sacrifice and determination with the Queen at the bottom of the deck. So you're being able to realize this intense feeling that your intuition's telling you is, I understand that maybe I'm not the same person anymore because I've graduated. I've grown in a different direction than that friend group or that volunteer group or that book club that I used to be a part of or that job that I held on to. There's something about you realizing this week, Aquarius, that what once worked is just not working anymore. It's not really fitting into the life you want. Look about the star. You realize very strong within your own power of your value, your worth, and where you want to go. And even though you may shed relationships this week or a relationship, it is something that you are feeling pulled in a different direction because that cycle, that season has completed. King of Swords. You're realizing the lessons that are mastered. You're understanding who you were and who you've become. And you're putting boundaries in place. You're determined to say, you know what? I'm no longer going to lie and pretend like I'm okay going out with my single friends while they want to meet guys or girls. And I don't really want to go, but I go because I support them as a friend. And you lie to yourself saying it's okay or whatever it is, that type of thing. You're no longer going to lie to yourself about trying to stay in a situation that it's just been completed for quite some time. There it is. You are stepping into growing up and growth potential. Your nurturing, which is self-love and self-care, is about being honest with yourself. It's not always a physical thing. Sometimes it's a mental or an emotional thing. Your soul is saying, you know what? I don't want to sacrifice my quality time of doing things for myself to help other people that I don't really feel connected to anymore. And you may have been lying to yourself for quite some time. So this week you're realizing, your inner voice is saying, you know what? I recognize I was only existing in that friendship for a specific reason. And I gave a lot, but now I don't really want to give anymore. I don't really want to participate. Yeah, the lackluster is real strong this week with your intuition. You're just not passionate about it. This could be, there's the judgment. You're making the judgment call to say, you know what? I'm no longer going to sacrifice my time going to volunteer for that group because what the cause was supposed to be is not really what it is anymore. I've moved in a different direction and I understand that. And you're making this judgment call this week. All right, could be dealing with a Libra, an air sign, an earth sign, and another Aquarius, a Taurus, or an air sign. All right, let's do the angel deck, Aquarius. Ask a question, get an answer. Oh, it does resonate good, Sabina. All right, let's think of a question, Aquarius, or anybody that wants to play. Hi, Kim. Hi, Kimberly. You can relate? Okay, that's good. I'm going to do ask a question and an answer after Pisces. So, all right, think of your question, Aquarius. Or if you have Aquarius placements. The answer is trust. Yes. All right, let's move on to Pisces. $109.09. Okay. All right, Pisces. Hi, is it Haiji? Haiji Puck? I'm not sure if I said that right. Sorry if I said it wrong. Hi, Martine. All right, Pisces, what's the energy around you? What is it you need to know? What is it you need to hear that's going to serve your highest good, Pisces? One more, Pisces. What's the energy around Pisces this week? Sharing. What's the energy around Pisces? Fighting. Experiencing. Intensity. So the energy is going to be really intense for you this week, Pisces. You may be sharing something with somebody and it may be a fight because it's going to turn really intense between you and another person. Okay, let's see what this is, Pisces. Pisces. One more. All right, what is sharing here for Pisces? Ambition, setbacks, diligent. So you may be sharing something that you're really ambitious about, but you feel a setback because somebody's going to fight you on what you're sharing. What is the fight for? Okay, so perseverance and having faith. This person wants you to look at things differently. You're sharing an idea about something you want to do, but you feel set back because whatever the experience is with you and this person wants you to have faith. They want you to persevere, but they're going to fight you to be very, very much not allowing yourself to self-sabotage. All right, what's this experience here? This could be happening in the next 3 days. Stubbornness, inflexibility, loyalty, and promises. So there's something about Pisces. You may self-sabotage yourself this week with a situation with somebody that you feel there's a setback because of a recent experience. It could be the test of loyalty, or maybe there was a promise made that didn't get fulfilled. Either way, you're feeling really stubborn and not flexible. And your person is wanting to fight you to say, you know what, just have faith. Just be able to have faith, have good faith that everything's going to work out okay. And you're sharing that why there's always a setback. There's always this, there's always that. There's always a loyalty being tested and being broken, or there's always this promises being made that are not being kept. There's something about you feel really intense that what you're sharing as this loyalty being broken, your person is intensely trying to say, hey, trust me, we're going to persevere through this. They want you to understand that this experience is not a setback. It is an experience, and that's all it is. You're going to go through it. What's at the bottom of the deck? Overcoming the vengeance, overcoming it, overcoming and making a choice. So let's see what this is. Let's get some tarot here, because you're feeling like there's a sense of setback. You're sharing with this person that there's always setbacks. This person wants you to look at it differently. It's not a setback, it's an experience. So what's the difference? A setback is something that's holding you back and you can't move forward. An experience is something you're moving through for a reason. There's a lesson to be mastered here, and it's going to feel intense either way. So what is this for Pisces placements? What is this? Okay. How do I say this? Before the card came out, I heard serving up a platter of SH blah, blah, blah. So you may feel like this person is serving you a platter of poo, and because they're asking you to persevere and have faith and loyalty to them. But you're feeling that this stubbornness and this inflexibility. And it could be because maybe it's been a repeated pattern. What's the saying? Do as I say, not as I do. That's kind of what this energy is with your person. They want you to trust them, but they're not giving you the reason to trust them. Okay, tell me more. Tell me more about this. 4 cups. the Ten of Swords. This is your energy. You're sharing that you feel you've hit the bottom of the barrel. You've already scratched the surface of whatever this loyalty, this trust, whatever these promises had been that feels intense have been broken time and time again. What is this card that keeps pulling out? This is the Two. The Two of Pentacles is about you don't feel that your person is looking at things the same way as you. So you're sharing this. You're sharing that you're going back and forth, whether you want this or you don't want this. There's it feels like a ping pong of yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And this is your energy. But your person is saying, hey, we can persevere through this. They're fighting for this, for you to have faith in them. Okay, what happened in the past? Okay, well, this flipped out. The Magician. Okay, what happened in the past here? I feel like I'm missing a piece of the puzzle here. What is the past? The Nine of Wands. There was a lot of fighting, a lot of conflict, a lot of defeat. You were trying to manifest something with this person in the past, but there was defeat instead. There could have been a defense mechanism. You were being called or summoned to be patient in the past. You were waiting for something. Has something to do with this loyalty. Promises, loyalty. Maybe there was a lot of broken promises in the past. And this could be, maybe you got back together with somebody. There's a reconciliation. And this person is wanting you not to be stubborn and holding on to the experience of the past, but to really heal through it and be able to say, hey, have faith that it's all going to work out. All right. Well, it's going to feel intense for both of you. You're intense because you're sharing that, hey, there's always setbacks. You're always breaking promises. You're always this, you're always that. And your person is saying, hey, I'm fighting my life here. I know that I need to step up. I know I need to do something. I know I need to make a move, but have faith that I can do this. Look at that. Look at that Ace of Wands. Judgment. They're making the call. They want this. So if this is a reconciliation or this is a new person, they're fighting intensely. They're fighting to have or to establish something here with you. Bottom of the deck is the Tower. So this may surprise you that this person is so intensely wanting to make the choice that they want to be with you. Maybe you're contemplating whether or not you want this. All right, let's see who you're dealing with. Fire, Aries, Leo, Sag, a Libra, Sagittarius again, Earth sign, water sign, air sign. All right, let's do the angel. Ask a question, give an answer. For Pisces, he's a narcissist, Ruby. Michelle. Ruby, it resonates. Two-faced Gemini. Yeah. All right. Pisces, what is your question? Think of a question. One more shuffle. Pisces, what's your question? What's the answer to the question for Pisces within the next few weeks? All right. Love bombed and betrayed. Ruby, I'm sorry. All right. Let's take the banner off. We're going to do ask a question, get an answer. For those that are on the live, you're going to put one question per comment if you have questions. And what time is it? 12:18. I got 12 minutes I can do this for. 12 minutes or until the last question. Move my stuff. One second here. Oh, that resonated, Lynn. Okay. You're welcome. All right. If you're coming in the live after it got started, timestamps will be on after it's over. We're going to do a free bonus, ask a question, get an answer. And if you want your own personalized in-depth reading or you want to do a live Zoom reading, check out my website, timelessdivinetarot.com. Birds are about communication. I actually have something I'm working on behind the scenes that is ooh, look at that, 10 of Pentacles. That's for me. It's something for the long term. There's something new that I'm working on. I'm going to be releasing pretty soon. But anyways, I'll tell you guys about that once I get closer to finalizing it. All right, let's get started. You're welcome, Ruby. Okay, Jonetta, what you don't see coming, Jonetta. You need to make sure that you're saving money for something. It could break down, you know, it could be like your car breaks down or your refrigerator breaks down. You need to make sure that you're putting some money aside for something that might be breaking, because you're getting rid of something and you're going to have to get something new. It's not going to be able to be repaired. Yeah. Make sure that you don't allow someone to convince you that it can be fixed, whatever it is. Could be even a car, because it can't be repaired, whatever it is. You just put, Cinderella, the way it works is you just put your questions in, and then if I don't get to it, you can just keep putting it on there, or if you have a different question, and I'll do this until 12:30. Yeah, Lynn, when I get it finalized, I'll announce it. I'm hoping to get it done sometime the next couple weeks. So, okay. Claire, will I get approved for a mobile home? What's the energy around that? You may have to have a cosigner. If you don't have enough to secure like a hefty down payment, then you may have to wait to have a little bit more. They're going to want a generous down payment in order to do that. All right. Cinderella, Steve's intentions towards you. He's maintaining boundaries. If you have a past with him, he is optimistic that the two of you can recover this. If you don't have a past with him, he's still trying to heal from somebody else in the past. Okay, Beach. Does he miss me? Does he miss Beach? You know, he's always curious about you. He's kind of cold-hearted and bitter, but he knows that you're somebody who contributed to him in the long term, but he's still curious about you. I don't see reconciliation. If you're wondering he's going to come back, I don't see that happening. Claire, 10,000. They may ask up to 17,000, just so you know. Let's see. Wait a minute, Kim. What are Tony Hayes' current feelings for me? Okay. Kim, what is Tony's feelings for Kim? Tony's feelings. He feels like the separation has been a good thing because he's actually been very much progressing with getting into a place of peace. He knows that both of you maybe needed to make this change. And for right now, he's just kind of walking away and enjoying the freedom. Okay. What's coming towards Samina? Samina, what's coming towards you? You need to trust your emotions more. You are too codependent on other people telling you what they think your emotions are. You need to become more independent and more logical with the way you truly feel. Get really in tune with how you feel. When you get crystal clear with that, then I do see that you can start discovering that maybe you want to leave or you want to move and relocate to another area. Maybe you have been thinking about moving, and then you talk to your mom or your dad, your cousins, and they're like, no, don't move. You'll never enjoy it. Don't listen to other people. You have to build up the strength to find your own voice. When you do, I see a move in your future. All right. You can, of course, Margaret, you can ask a question. That's what I'm here for. Let's see here. Natalie, will my ex and I reconcile anytime soon? Natalie and her ex. You both are kind of contemplating whether or not you want this opportunity. Here's the problem is one of you still has abandonment wounds. It's either you or it's your ex, and it's putting a defense mechanism up. Now, I do see if you guys are wanting to hook up and just sleep together, I do see that happening. But as far as a commitment, until either you or him or both of you or her, whoever it is, you make the change to really do forgive each other about whatever happened in the past with that abandonment. If you work through that and really forgive, I do see you could have an opportunity to come back together. But one of you or both of you has to fix that first. Let's see here. Bianca, what's coming up for Bianca? Let's see. Bianca. You're going to have to make a decision. You need to get really clear with what you want, Bianca. You have the willpower to manifest. You got the Magician here. So you have the power right now. The energy is in prime for you, but you're kind of going back and forth, back and forth. Why are you so distracted with making this decision? There's one person that you want success with, but you don't trust them. So you have to decide why you don't trust them. What can you do to overcome to get into a trusting place? If you do, then I see you could definitely get into a place of feeling supported and consider coming back with this person. But if you don't work on the trust, I don't see there's going to be success. But with the Magician, you can have it. If you really want this person back, they could have water or they could have fire in their chart. That's what I see happening for you. D money, what is coming towards you? D money. If you have some type of obsession or addiction, you need to let that go. You could be a workaholic and you're going to burn yourself out. If you don't give yourself time to be free and actually do something you love and you enjoy just because you love it, you're going to end up feeling like you don't have any control over your life. Because what happens when you create that imbalance, it ends up affecting other aspects of your life. So if you're just all work, no play, you need to have a little bit of playtime. I see you're struggling with it right now. And you need to go in the direction of saying, hey, you know what? I want to go shoot darts or play pool. Go do that. You want to go to the go-kart rink? Go to the go-kart rink or, whatever it is. All right. Got to walk away from something. Let's see. All right, Michelle, the other day you said I would remarry in 3 years. Do I already know this person and initials? I do have my initials right here, actually. Michelle. Let's see here. Michelle. The person Michelle's going to marry. Michelle. I can tell you they're divorced. And if you want a future spouse love reading, then I can do that. You have to order it on my website. I do have one on there. But I'll give you a little bit. Ooh, they may have Virgo. They may have Leo. They're going to see you first. You don't know this person. What are the letters? N. I. N. I. A. L. T. So this could be in their name. It could be, if they have a child, could be one of their child's name or in their child's name. There's something about child here. Okay. Let's see here. Audrey, what is the message from the other side? Audrey. What is the message for Audrey? Somebody passed away recently, Audrey. Somebody you were with for a very long time. This person wants you to know that things are going to get better for you, that it's not going to always be hard. If you have been struggling financially, money is going to improve. You will recover from this, especially if you took a loss. Martine, am I moving soon? Martine, are you moving soon? Yes, you are. You know what? It's going to be a struggle because your family, they don't support you with moving. But I see you're going to make a quick decision. There's going to be an opportunity that just kind of happens at the right place, the right time. And your intuition is going to say, hey, let's just do this. And you just do it. And it's going to happen really fast for you. Could be sometime between July, August, or October for you. Claire, I don't really want to answer about other people's intimacy. Let's see. Annette, what's Kyle's feelings for me? Annette, what's Kyle's feelings for me? Annette, what's Kyle's feelings for Annette? One more. Kyle's feelings for Annette. He feels like he's got choices, you've got choices, that it's time for the two of you to just move along and have new beginnings elsewhere. This person is kind of a manipulator, so maybe you found that you couldn't trust them, they weren't really reliable, they weren't really consistent, and there was a lot of back and forth. He did that on purpose because he thought that he could loop you, and he realizes he can't. So he tried, but he failed at this, is what it looks like. What is does it say? Is there someone for me who I find soon? Basie? What's going on for love for Basie? Basie. 2929. Somebody look up that angel number. You need to rethink the approach of how you go about dating. There's an imbalance when it comes to your energy placement. It could be that maybe you're more withdrawn. You say in your mind, oh, I want somebody, but your energy is putting off that you're very closed off, that you're really not open and receptive to love. I do have a singles love reading. If you are interested, we do kind of go in depth with that. But I do see that right now you're not really doing anything energetically to be open and receptive to it. There's a little bit, potentially a blockage there. All right. Let's see. Anita, my guy's stuck in Europe. Will I get him home soon and how long? All right, Anita, let's take a look here. Anita and her man, her guy, her person. Anita. 2 more shuffles. Anita. You're welcome, Basie. There's 2-2. There's a lot of confusion about him leaving. He's determined, he's focused, he's confident. The problem is he's not reliable, he's untrustworthy, and you may be disappointed. I don't see in the current energy that he's moving. You might be disappointed. Okay, sorry. Let's see, Michelle, will I ever move back to Ontario? You're welcome. Will I ever move back to Ontario? Michelle. 2 more shuffles. I see an old employer reaching out. They're making changes and they're going to want you to come back. You might be a little conflicted because there might be some misunderstandings on whether they're going to pay for you to travel back or whether they're going to give you certain benefits that you're requiring. Make sure you get everything in writing, that if you're thinking about moving back there with this offer, with this prior employer, make sure everything is documented. And then I see that it could work out for you. You're welcome. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for joining the live. If you come on after the live, I'll put the timestamps down when the video is done uploading. Okay. And Peachy, will I find a new job that will be better? Peachy, will you find a new job that will be better? Let's see here. You've had a really bad experience where you're at. It's because you're not in alignment. You know you're supposed to do something with law. So maybe you're supposed to be a paralegal. You're supposed to be a researcher. The choices you're making with the current job, they don't work because that's not where you're supposed to be. And that's why you're feeling conflicted. That's why you're feeling like miserable or isolated with that employer. There's a misalignment there. I think once you accept that this isn't really where you want to be, I do see that you're going to be really grateful that you start researching or investigating other avenues. Has something to do with law. So maybe you want to work at the courthouse. Maybe you want to be like a clerk at the courthouse. Maybe you get a job at the courthouse. Maybe like a paralegal. Maybe you want to go back to law school. Maybe you want to work for a nonprofit doing something with the law or the legality. There's something with that. Maybe you're going to be like what are those people that like dictate when the judge and the court people are talking like that? I don't know what they're called. There's something with the law system is actually where you're supposed to be. That's why you're not happy. You're not aligned with where you should be right now. But I think once you get there, then yeah, you'll be at peace. I already did Taurus, Mildred. Taurus timestamp was 9:49. You have to scroll back. Jen, will my person be back? I'm going to do 2 more and then I'm going to get out of here. Jen, will your person be back? 2 more. Jen. Well, part of the problem is your person feels like a little pessimistic. They don't have like a positive outlook on it. So as far as building something long-term with you, Now, I do see them coming back, but it's not in the energy that you're probably wanting. So if you're wanting a relationship, that's not what they're coming back for. They're coming back for a relationship, but it's not an emotional one. It's a physical one. So depending on what exactly you're desiring from them, that is what would be created. Now, of course, you have free will. If you're like, no, I don't want to sleep with somebody only, I want something emotional, then I wouldn't take them back, because that's what they're coming back for, is the intimacy. One more question. Lynn, do I have any secret admirers? Let's see, Lynn. Who's spying on Lynn? Lynn. If I could stay up late enough tonight, I might try to come online tonight. I don't usually do nighttime ones because I go to bed so early, but I would like to try to see. I have a very large audience, and I'm trying to figure out what time my audience likes live. So I need to test it at nighttime too. I just have to be able to stay up late enough. I need to drink a coffee super late so I can stay up. All right, Lynn. You have two people, one who has Leo placement and one who has Aries placement. One you had a really bad ending with. It took a lot for you to recover from this person. This person still holds on to you. The other person, in all fairness, you never really got up off the ground. It's somebody who has like a really, really weak energy, meaning they're not really in your energy placements like recently. So it could be somebody way, way back from the past that has just a little bit of remnants left, that maybe you talked to them, maybe you casually talked to them or got to know them or dated them a little bit, but it wasn't like a full-blown relationship or commitment or anything like that. So there is two people lingering. All right. All right. That is all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining the live. I hope you guys have a beautiful Sunday. Like I said, if I'm not too tired, I'll try to come on tonight. Wah, wah, we'll see. But I'm not going to promise it, because who knows? I'm going to go for a bike ride with my kids, and we'll see how the day takes me. But I appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye-bye.